As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology Meerut, a NAC accredited with A grade, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, in association with the African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organize this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies towards self-reliant India. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is the 103rd edition of the webinar series on a very important topic, Agri Entrepreneurship and an Opportunity in India, 7th January 2023. We wish all the participants and the guest speaker with a Happy New Year greetings 2023. And this is a very important topic, Agri Entrepreneurship and Opportunity in India. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency Secretary General ARDO, Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agri-Business and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi, IAS, retired, former Managing Director, Common Services Center, E-Governance Services India Limited, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, New Delhi, and former Principal Secretary of Finance, Government of Tripura. I wish to inform the participants and the guest speaker that the university regularly conducts two webinar series, namely National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in Agriculture, on every Thursday, and an international webinar series on open source digital technology towards self-reliant India. And so far, we conducted 102 lectures. And Dr. Dinesh Tyagi also attended and delivered a talk, earlier one of the editions. It's very important talk he had it. I will refer to in later part of this program. The 102 lectures on various topics have delivered a lot of input, and which can facilitate and which is facilitating the establishment of startups, entrepreneurs, and so on and so forth. 102 topics and different, areas, and every week I used to read it out. Now it is 102 titles. It itself will take about 15 minutes to read out all the titles. So it is all available on our website, which one can go through it. Today's topic is Agri Entrepreneurship and Opportunity in India. India is a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said India is largely an agricultural country, Krishi Pradhan Desh, and a country of villages, more than 6.25 lakh villages. It's a foundation. Agriculture is the foundation of Indian economy, and it employs more than 50% of the India's workforce and contributes nearly about 18 to 19% of its GDP. And it is the main source of food, employment, and income for 70 to 80% of the people suffering from hunger in developing countries. And of course, climate change has got both the direct and indirect effects on agricultural productivity, including changing rainfall patterns, severe drought, flooding, and changes in the geographical redistribution of pests and diseases. And farmers of India are facing multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, lack of infrastructure, and weather. Indian farming community consists of about 14.5 crores operational holdings. of which 85% of the farmers are having small and marginal size operational holdings. They need timely, location specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production and risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. This needs an integrated, globalized agriculture value chain. Agriculture produce have to find an appropriate market in the whole world. Many national level programs, be it Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Stand Up India, and Grow Up India, Scale Up India, have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, that too at small and marginal farmers. I would like to quote our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, said at the 7th Governing Council of the Niti Aayog meeting held on 7th August 2022. In his opening address, he stressed, I quote, the need to focus on modernized agriculture, animal husbandry, and food processing to become self-sufficient and global leader in the agriculture. And in his closing remark, he said, I quote, each state should focus on promoting trade, tourism, and technology via every Indian mission around the world. The states must focus on reducing imports, increasing exports, and identifying opportunities thereof. There are some of the milestone achievement have to be achieved. And I also, because of the relevance of today's topic, I also would like to quote the recommendations of the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 report 2018. It is popularly known as Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report. I was closely associated with that report. I chaired two volumes, volume 11 and volume 12B. Volume 11 talks about empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination. And volume 12B talks about digital technology in agriculture. Agri entrepreneurship and opportunity in India will directly have an impact on operationalization of these 7 mission mode programs for digitalization in agriculture. That is a strategic use. That's what the reported use the word strategic use of digital technology in farming system life cycle. Digitalized agriculture, digital technology, and innovation in agriculture means synergization of Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture sector through smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming, and digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Digitalized agricultural resource and digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities. Digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. And digitalized integrated land and water management system per drop more crop, and digitalize farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. This means farmers' health, public health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environmental health. These data are available in vertical silos through GIS technology. This has to be mapped over a village, over farm level, and this is a $1 trillion data economy, which India has to, take over the control. And this report also talks about networking of the need for development of a network of cooperative societies and automation of each cooperative society to facilitate governance and operational efficiency in the cooperative structure is good for rural India. It means that we have 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies and 22,000 primary fisher cooperative societies, and about more than 1.5 lakh dairy cooperative societies. So they all have to become an agri entrepreneurship. And we have an Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. It is a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi's, of making India self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation, rested on 5 pillars: quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, and systems 21st century technology driven, and vibrant demography, and a demand whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. We'll have the talk by Dr. Dinesh Singh, who is the father of common services centers in the country, and they have revolutionized digitalization at the grassroots level. Digital India aims to provide much needed thrust to the 9 pillars of growth areas: broadband highways, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access program, e-governance, reforming government through technology, that is e-governance, and then e-Kranti, electronic delivery of services. So previously we talked about e-governance as one aspect. Now in 2015, this has been divided into 2 components. E-governance means reforming government through technology, and e-Kranti, electronic delivery of services, information for all, electronic manufacturing, IT jobs for early harvest programs. Each of these areas is complex in nature and cut across multiple ministries and departments. And this is very important. And also on February 20th, 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology published a report. I would like to quote that India's $1 trillion digital opportunity. And in collaboration with the McKinsey and Company, the report identified 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate the progress, India's progress in 9 key areas. The time has come now. This is 2019. Now it is 2023. 4 years, 3 years have passed. Now we would like to see the impact of this report at the grassroots level. Digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in digital world. The technologies which are emerging and in making impacts are AI, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum jump. And India has to have the ecosystems: Industry 4.0, Society 5.0, and Agriculture 4.0. Industry 4.0 has come from German. Society 5.0 has come from Japan. And India has to give to the whole world Agriculture 4.0 and Agriculture 5.0. We have Amrit Kal led up to 100. Next to 25 years, how India should, get developed by 2047. And it has got a blueprint. And this talks about that complementing the macroeconomic level growth with a microeconomic level all-inclusive welfare focus. Macroeconomic growth focus and micro level, economic level, microeconomic level, all-inclusive welfare focus is very important. And the government also has come out with a national logistic policy, which has development of a unified logistic interface platform to help different government and private agencies like shippers, service providers enable information exchange on a real-time basis in a confidential manner. I also would like to quote our Honorable Prime Minister's, historic speech on 15th August 2022. He named 5 pillars of India's development, 5 pledges for 2047, Panch Prans, and that is very important, having developed India, removing any sign of servility, pride in heritage, unity, and fulfilling our duties as a senior citizen. And today's India is an aspirational society where there is a collaborative awakening to take our nation to to newer heights. Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and Agenda 2030, the future we want, 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets to be achieved. And this Agenda 2030 provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, and now and into the future. And last week, it's very relevant to today's topic. We had a talk by one of the very Indian, organization, which has done wonders in the area of creating shared value and being socially responsible. Creating shared value and being socially responsible. And creating shared value is a framework for creating economic value while simultaneously addressing social needs and challenges. I think today's topic, this is last week's talk, is very important. Creating shared value is a framework for creating economic value while simultaneously addressing societal needs and challenges. Creating shared value is not a CSR. Creating social value is equal to social value plus economic value. And creating social value, creating shared value will drive innovation and growth. And Agri Entrepreneurship has to bring in innovation and growth at the grassroots level. That's why today's topic is very important. Businesses have the potential to be more effective than governments and NGOs, civil societies, in creating and marketing solutions to community problems. New needs and new markets open up opportunities to differentiate, innovate, and grow. Being socially responsible means of achieving sustainability, adopting key social responsibility principles such as accountability and transparency, which can help ensure a long-term viability and success of any organization and systems. Another tenet of social responsibility is the triple bottom line, known as people, planet, and profit. In 2010, the International Organization for Standardization published an international standard ISO 26000 to help organizations assess and address their social responsibilities. ISO 9000, ISO 26000, and ISO 14001 are very important. They talk about the quality triple bottom line. And CSR is a law in India from 1st April 2014. Under this webinar series, which are ongoing in the university, we organized the following webinar series on this relevant topic: Agri Entrepreneurship Development, Pathway for Farming as a Service. Agri Entrepreneurship Development, Pathway for Farming as a Service. We need it for 85% of our Indian agriculture operational holders. They are small and marginal operational holding size. By Dr. Shahaji Sambhaji Pant, Deputy Director and Head Center of Extension in Agriculture Allied Sector from National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And the next one is very important. Prime Minister PM Moni, Wi-Fi Access Network Interface. PM Moni is a technology developed by CDOT. And a title was PM Moni, Entrepreneurship Opportunities for Small and Micro Businesses in Agriculture, by Mr. Ravi Kumar Chinnusamy, Managing Director, Informatix Enterprises Private Limited, Chennai. He provides more than 80% of the area, and demanded internet services bandwidth. And this was held on 22nd December 2022. And in the international webinar series on open source digital technology towards self-reliant India, that entrepreneurship and skill development, artificial intelligence design pathways, entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways, developing rural entrepreneurship to ensure doubling of farmers' income by Mr. Devasis Mahapatro, resident representative, World Bank Group, Lucknow. Leveraging the power of convergence through connecting the dots. The dots are agri startups, agripreneurs, and rural innovators. By Sanjeev Rohila, CEO, NAB Foundation, a subsidiary of NABARD, Mumbai. Artificial Intelligence and Metaverse, Frontiers in Workspace by Dr. Meera Venkat, President and CEO, Race Global and Chairperson, Women Leadership Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development, Bengaluru. Changing Landscape of Entrepreneurship in the Digital Age by Dr. Kavita Shanmugan, co-founder and director, OD Practices. Agriculture entrepreneurship in agriculture can do wonders for rural economy. Agriculture entrepreneurship in agriculture can do wonders for rural economy, according to Dr. Sivendra Pajaj, Executive Director, FSII. Agriculture sector provides food for 1.3 billion people in India, as well as supports over 60% of the population for their livelihood and plays a crucial role in sustainable growth of the country's economy. Agribusiness entrepreneurship is the key promoter of agriculture growth in developing countries where majority of population is engaged in agriculture. Success of agri startups depends on economically feasible focus areas within agriculture and support from government institution. Another viewpoint, success of agri startups on the economically feasible focus areas within agriculture and support from government agencies and agriculture market access across the global have seen a massive change over the past 30 years. International trade of agriculture products is shifting. Local market is no longer as strong as it used to be. National markets are also falling behind. Global market system appears to be of trading seems to be growing larger and larger. Farmers need to become an entrepreneur. Farmer needs to become entrepreneurs and adopt agripreneurship model. They have to adopt agripreneurship model that will help them create their local clusters and start increasing their production as a synergy and not as individual local farmers. It's a very important awakening statement. Local farmers will need to create their value chain. Value chains are sets of connected stakeholders working together to add more value to their products. Value chain help increase efficiency, productivity, and competitiveness by linking the stakeholders, in this case the farmers, to processes and markets. Agripreneurship development as a tool to the upliftment of agriculture. In India, agri-entrepreneurship development as a tool to upliftment of agriculture. Agripreneurship have the potential to contribute to a range of social and economic development such as employment generation, income generation, poverty reduction, and improvements in nutrition, health, and overall food security in the national economy. Agripreneur defined as entrepreneur whose main business is agriculture or agriculture related. Agriculture plus entrepreneur is equal to agripreneur. A successful agripreneur needs to understand consistency, creative thinking, smart working, risk taking, communication, and finding market opportunities. Skills are needed to become an agro-based entrepreneurs. This includes strong business acumen, marketing skills, and knowledge agriculture. The possible areas of entrepreneurship in agriculture are agro produce processing, agro produce manufacturing units, agro inputs manufacturing, and agro service centers. And Syngenta Foundation India has done wonders. It began its Agri Entrepreneurs Program in 2014. The aim is to create employment for rural youth, increase farmers' income, and foster local agriculture development. This is, and by 2019, over 1,800 agri entrepreneurs were anchored in micro businesses serving more than 250,000 farmers. To move to the next level of scale up, Syngenta created a social enterprise called the AE Growth Foundation, Agri Entrepreneurs Growth Foundation. This joint venture with the Tata Trusts has an ambitious plan to develop 1 lakh agri entrepreneurs over the next 5 years to serve 20 million smallholders. Innovation and agri entrepreneurs development is needed, and they are called agri startups. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare has launched a component called Innovation and Agri Entrepreneurship Development under RKVY Raftar program in 2018-19 with the objective to promote innovation and agri entrepreneurship by providing financial support and nurturing the incubation ecosystem. Under the scheme, grants are provided for startups on their business ideas, and for those who are already in the business and wants to scale up, and the release of funds is based on the achievement of milestones. To create and nurture a pipeline of agri entrepreneurs for incubators for increasing efficiency in agriculture and allied sector, which are agro-processing, artificial intelligence, digital agriculture, farm mechanization, waste to wealth, and dairy and fisheries. Knowledge partners as the centers of excellence are also identified: Manage Hyderabad, NIAM Jaipur, IIRI Pusa, New Delhi, and University of Agriculture Science, Dharwad, Karnataka, and Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, Assam. Empowering young agri entrepreneurs to invest in agriculture and food system. This is what the United Nations organization says. You empower young agri entrepreneurs to invest in agriculture and food systems. They are necessary. And the achievement of sustainable development goals requires a significant mobilization of investment in agri and food sector. Strategically targeted interventions from the public sector will be essential to steer sustainable private sector driven growth. Measures such that empower young agri entrepreneurs should be a key component of such a SDG centered investment promotion strategy. And there are a lot of policy recommendations based on lessons learned from various African and Asian countries. Measures that empower young agri entrepreneurs should be a key component of a sustainable development centered investment promotion strategy. And it's private sector solutions to helping smallholders succeed, social enterprises business models in the agriculture sector, social enterprise business models. And it is very important. We have agri clinic and agri business center scheme from government of India, and it is all operational scheme, but we have to see their impact at the grassroots level, and value chain development is very important. Until recently, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi was the managing director of Common Services Centers. They are the physical facilities for delivering Government of India's e-service to rural and remote locations where availability of computer and internet was negligible or mostly absent. There are multiple service single point model for providing facilities for multiple transactions at a single geographical locations. CSC are the access points for delivery of essential public utility services, social welfare schemes, health care, financial, education, and agriculture services, apart from a host of B2C services to citizens in rural and remote areas. It is a pan-India network, and it is the CSC schemes are a strategic cornerstone for Digital India program, OpenGov, open government, open technology, open data, open strategy, open innovation, and democratization of services will facilitate simplifying digital life. This is life. This is what was his previous talk. While I was in service and during my period as Director General NIC, we had a one-day meeting with State Informatic Officer of NIC Delhi with CSC to institutionalize collaborative efforts between NIC and CSCs in the country. And that time, in the presence of the then Secretary Agriculture, Mr. Satyanarayana, and Dr. Dinesh Tyagi, Managing Director CSC, I requested to convert 10% of the CSCs as farmers CSCs, May 2013. With this background, let us turn to the address by our guest speaker, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi, IAS retired, former Managing Director, CAC E-Governance Services Limited, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and former Principal Secretary of Finance, Government of Tripura, Agartala, on the very important topic, Agri Entrepreneurship and Opportunity in India. The topic will motivate and galvanize the participants, and many of the participants are from CSC village level entrepreneurs. They are participating. They are watching our telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India, youtube.com /Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company Shobhit University for regeneration and acceleration of rural transformation at village level, and to establish 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups, one per gram panchayat, in association with the Common Services Center in the country. Let me introduce our guest speaker to the audience, Mr. Manish. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi belongs to Indian Administrative Service 1981 batch of Manipur Tripura cadre. He worked in the Tripura state in various capacities as Secretary Education and Principal Secretary Finance. He has also worked as Director in the Banking Division, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. He was a custodian of Special Court 1992 Harshat Mehta scam in the Finance Ministry. He has been director on the board of Syndicate Bank, United Bank of India, and Indian Bank. He has also been director on the board of financial institutions such as Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi has worked as Chief Executive Officer, CSC scheme with Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services Limited, New Delhi. Till recently, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi was working as a Managing Director, MD of CAC E-Governance Services Limited, a special purpose vehicle promoted by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. With this, I would like to request Dr. Dinesh Kumar Tyagi to talk on agri entrepreneurship and opportunity in India in the international webinar series, Open Source Digital Technology for Self-Reliant India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Professor Moni, for inviting me, and also the Shobhit University for giving this opportunity to talk about entrepreneurship and opportunities in India. Dr. Moni has, of course, explained everything in regard to the potential it has, the various schemes and programs of the government it has, and also the future roadmap of what agri entrepreneurship hold for India. आज हम लोग सर विद योर परमिशन में, क्योंकि हमारे बच्चे सीएससी वाले हैं, थोड़ा हिंदी में बात करेंगे और थोड़ा बीच बीच में इंग्लिश में बात
very much
क्योंकि उनका समझ में आ जाएगा. ये एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप क्यों, किस लिए हमने एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात की. हमारा देश, जैसे इन्होंने बताया, कृषि प्रधान देश है. 75% पॉपुलेशन कृषि पे डिपेंड करती है और 18% जीडीपी में कंट्रीब्यूट होता है. ये सब होता है. और फिर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की जरूरत क्या है? एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप क्या देश में नहीं है? एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप क्या देश में नहीं है? देखिए, एग्रीकल्चर का जो बहुत प्रोटेक्टिव सेगमेंट रहा है, सरकार ने सारी चीजें एग्रीकल्चर में अपने थ्रू डिलीवर करने की कोशिश की है एग्रीकल्चर में. एंड एक कारण यही हुआ कि इसलिए एग्रीकल्चर में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप नहीं बन पाई, क्योंकि सारे काम सरकार करती थी, चाहे वो एक्सटेंशन प्रोग्राम्स हों, चाहे डिलीवरी ऑफ इनपुट्स हों, चाहे प्रोक्योरमेंट ऑफ प्रोड्यूस हो. जब सारा काम सरकार के थ्रू होता है, फिर जो हमारे देश में हमारे बच्चों और हमारे लोगों के पास जो एंटरप्राइजिंग स्किल्स हैं, वो उभर के नहीं आती हैं। इसीलिए एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जो हमारे देश में जो हुआ है, वो बहुत कम हुआ है, बहुत इनसिग्निफिकेंट है। इतना बड़ा देश, इतना कंट्रीब्यूशन और एग्रीकल्चर का इतना बड़ा रोल, लेकिन हम लोग एग्रीकल्चर के रिलेटेड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप क्रिएट नहीं कर पाए, प्रमोट नहीं कर पाए, और सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस मॉडल क्रिएट करने में सरकार सक्षम नहीं हो पाई। अभी सरकार की बदलाव है, क्योंकि अगर एग्रीकल्चर में प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ानी है तो एग्री में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप भी बहुत ज़रूरी है। हमारे हिसाब से हमें लगता है कि अगर हम 5.5 लाख कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर बना सकते हैं, तो हर एक गांव में एक एंटरप्रेन्योर एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड बनाना बहुत मुश्किल काम नहीं है। तो देश में 6.5 लाख के करीब गांव हैं, हर एक गांव में एक एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बनाया जा सकता है। फिर ब्लॉक लेवल और डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे भी बन सकते हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन क्रिएट। और क्योंकि अभी आईसीटी है, इंफॉर्मेशन कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी है, और हमारे ये गांव के बच्चे सब समझते हैं, सबको ज्ञान है, इंफॉर्मेशन की एक्सेस है, स्किल नेसेसरी स्किल्स हैं, और उनमें काम करने की इच्छा है। सडनली देयर इज अ चेंज, देयर इज अ फिनोमिनल चेंज कि हम नौकरी नहीं करेंगे, बच्चों को नौकरी देंगे। सो ये जो भाव देश में अभी, ये जो this tendency which is coming up in especially in rural India has been a phenomenal story for building entrepreneurship. तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का रोल इसलिए जरूरी है कि अगर हमें देश को बढ़ाना है और देश को तरक्की करनी है और सरकार के सपनों को साकार करने, एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी को बढ़ाना है, और अगर सेल्फ रिलायंट जैसे ग्राम स्वराज का सपना या आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना है, तो उसमें एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बहुत जरूरी है। Very significant role in agri entrepreneurship can build in achieving the objectives of government. गवर्नमेंट के जो उनके लिए एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का प्रमोशन बहुत जरूरी है। गांव में जो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एग्रीकल्चर से देखी होगी, सब लोगों ने महसूस किया होगा। एक आड़ती होता है, जो आड़ती सबने सुना होगा। आड़ती गांव में मिलता जो सामान गांव के प्रोड्यूस होते हैं उस आड़ती के माध्यम से। सो दिस वन आड़ती विच इज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर बेस्ड ऑन एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस सेलिंग इन रूरल इंडिया, जो ट्रेडिशनली। या फिर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज हैं, जो कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज हमारे देश में इनपुट सप्लाई करती हैं और कुछ जगह में प्रोड्यूस भी करती हैं। तो ये कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एग्रीकल्चर की एक्टिविटी से बिजनेस क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करती हैं, या वो आड़ती करता है जो कि मंडी में जाकर के या मंडी के थ्रू लोगों की प्रोड्यूस को बिक्री करता है। और तीसरे जो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप ट्रेडिशनल एरियाज में होते हैं, वो पहले जैसे बार्टर ट्रेड होता था, तो बहुत लोग चीज बार्टर से करते थे, कुछ सामान देते थे और एग्रीकल्चर का उससे गेहूं या अपनी चीजें खरीद लेते थे। तो दैट वाज द स्मॉल रूरल एंटरप्राइज बिल्ट ऑन एग्रीकल्चर थ्रू अ बार्टर ट्रेड मॉडल। तो ये तीन तरह के ज्यादा थे। तो तीन तरह के एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप जो ग्रास रूट लेवल पे आपको दिखते हैं, वो यही थे, एंड दीज वर द वन व्हिच बिकेम बॉटलनेक्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ really creating a growth potential and phenomenal opportunities for citizens in rural India to build enterprises. एक जो बड़ा बना, जो एग्रीकल्चर से जो बड़े बने, वो बहुत बड़े बने जिन्होंने कंपनी लगाई, प्रोसेसिंग का किया, पर वो इनपुट लेते थे, वो प्रोड्यूस को खरीदते थे। एग्रीकल्चर से प्रोड्यूस खरीदा, किसी अर्बन जाके कंपनी लगा दी, फैक्ट्री लगा दी एंड बिल्ड दैट पार्ट। लेकिन स्मॉल स्केल रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का मॉडल हमने नहीं किया। जितना भी ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम या एग्रीकल्चर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं देश में, वो सब यही फोकस करते हैं दैट यू बिल्ड समथिंग ऑफ दैट नेचर। सरकार का एक प्रोग्राम एग्री क्लिनिक्स का था, which was very good in that sense, which was trying focusing on building grassroots level entrepreneurship in agriculture, extension services के लिए। वो बहुत सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाया क्योंकि उसमें कंडीशंस वगैरह लगाई दी गई थी और ज़्यादा प्रमोशन नहीं हो पाया, और एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी में भी दैट इट वाज बिफोर टाइम। उस समय शायद उस ट्रेडिशनल मॉडल में लोग एग्रीकल्चर वाले, क्योंकि ट्रेडिशनल जो एग्रीकल्चर एक्सटेंशन है वो सरकार के थ्रू होता है, एंड आउटसाइड सरकार लेने के लिए थोड़ा सा माइंडसेट को चेंज करना फार्मर का, इट टेक्स लिटिल टाइम। सो वन हैज टू हैव पेशेंस इन बिल्डिंग दैट, बट आई थिंक गिविंग द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ व्हाट एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप हैज बीन रूरल इंडिया एंड व्हाट इज द पोटेंशियल जो हमें अभी करना है, जिसकी हमें जरूरत है। ये बहुत सारी स्टडीज वर्ल्ड में हुई हैं विच हैज एक्चुअली शोन कि जिस देश में स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस को बढ़ावा नहीं होगा, वो उस देश में इक्विटेबल ग्रोथ नहीं हो पाएगी। इक्विटेबल ग्रोथ इन द कंट्री विल हैपन थ्रू डेवलपमेंट, प्रमोशन एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी ऑफ स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइज। ये बहुत जरूरी है। और एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज एक्चुअली कैन प्ले सिग्निफिकेंट रोल इन क्रिएटिंग इक्विटेबल ग्रोथ पैटर्न्स इन रूरल इंडिया। एक तो लोकल होता है, क्योंकि एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप हमने कहा कि लोकल होता है, और वो लोकल होगा और वहीं पर रहेगा, उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी होगी, his ability to try and sustain people and try and support those farmers will be phenomenal. He'll be one out of them. So agri entrepreneurship, one in every village, has a huge potential of trying and doing and transforming India. And as I said, भारत का जो सपना है आत्मनिर्भर भारत और ग्राम स्वराज, वो एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के माध्यम से ही सफल हो सकता है। तो आज हम आपको कुछ कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी दिखाएंगे जो सेगमेंट्स में हैं, आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे कि एग्रीकल्चर में ग्रास रूट लेवल पे आप कैसे अपना बिजनेस खड़ा कर सकते हैं। कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? 1 मिनट। जो फार्मर को जो चीजें हम लोग दिखाते हैं, एक तो क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन के बारे में हम लोग दिखाते हैं। तो क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन के बारे में क्या क्या हम उसको चाहिए, उसको इनपुट्स चाहिए होते, ही नीड लॉट ऑफ इनपुट। फर्टिलाइजर चाहिए, सीड्स चाहिए, वेदर इंफॉर्मेशन, सॉइल टेस्टिंग चाहिए, फार्म इक्विपमेंट चाहिए, वाटर टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी चाहिए, और फसल बीमा योजना, इंश्योरेंस स्कीम चाहिए क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन के लिए। द फार्मर नीड दीज सपोर्ट सिस्टम। ये सपोर्ट सिस्टम फर्टिलाइजर और सीड्स के लिए तो सरकार बोलती है कि एक लाइसेंस की जरूरत होती है। हमें नहीं मालूम क्यों लाइसेंस चाहिए फर्टिलाइजर और सीड में, कोई लॉजिक नहीं है। देयर इज नो लॉजिक विच एक्सप्लेन दैट यू नीड अ लाइसेंस for fertilizer and seed. Actually is meaningless. There is also no logic to have an agriculture graduate doing a fertilizer and seed sale. It can be any person, as long as you're an entrepreneur, because you actually, what you do, you're selling on behalf of somebody, you are an agent and you're selling on behalf of some large company, so you're only selling their product. So therefore your ability to do advocacy for the product is what is understandable. In any case, most of these companies today, आज वो क्या करती हैं, अपने आप एडवोकेसी के लिए या अपने आप प्रमोशन के लिए कुछ या तो बुकलेट्स या लीफलेट्स या फिर मटेरियल, डिजिटल मटेरियल बनाती हैं जो आप दिखा करके लोगों को दिखा सकते हैं। सो दैट पार्ट ऑफ द वर्क यू डोंट नीड। इनफैक्ट it is necessary the government of India should dispense with the license requirement for fertilizer and seeds. It has no relevance. It is only hampering the growth for building the potential for trying and helping citizens building enterprises in that section. अगर फर्टिलाइजर और फर्टिलाइजर्स के लिए लाइसेंस खत्म हो जाएगा और एग्रीकल्चर ग्रेजुएट की रिक्वायरमेंट खत्म हो जाएगी, then you if you want to control some part of the story of how much he can store, what manner he can store, that can be done through a technology medium and online mechanism. But you don't have to try and he can submit information on daily basis of what is stock, how much he has sold, and you can keep and record in that sense. But there is no licensing requirement required for that farmer. So एक तो बहुत जरूरी है कि लाइसेंस का रिक्वायरमेंट खत्म हो। फर्टिलाइजर सेलिंग इज सेल्फ presently is largely being done by cooperative society but has a huge business potential. And with the new fertilizer coming called nano urea and nano DOP, it will transform the prospects of trying and making available fertilizer in different fashion. जो ट्रेडिशनल फर्टिलाइजर रूट है वो 3-4 सालों में बदल जाएगा, and you will probably have all these nano products and fertilizer meeting requirements to the farmer. जब ये नैनो प्रोडक्ट मिलेंगे तो उससे एक एडवांटेज है कि दैट यू कैन एक्चुअली बिल्ड ए स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज बेस्ड ऑन सेलिंग एंड प्रमोटिंग नैनो प्रोडक्ट। दूसरा, नैनो प्रोडक्ट को लगाने के लिए हाउ टू ट्राई एंड स्प्रे विद इन द फार्म एरिया also need some technology. If there are large farm area, you need a drone, so there will be a requirement for a drone and there will be a requirement for training for drone. So that itself adds value for you. That's an additional business opportunity for you, because end of the day farm labor बहुत कम हो रहा है, farm labor migrate करती है, so you're not getting farm labor, so you need mechanical system in order to meet the requirement of the farmer. तो आपको फर्टिलाइजर का सेल से बिजनेस बनेगा, फर्टिलाइजर के स्प्रे से you can keep the spray machines or which can be given a rent, or you can try and do the same process as a service industry for the farmer, and also use drones for spraying large scale. So fertilizer, drones, and spray machines can itself create a huge business opportunity for an entrepreneur to build in that area. It is actually very good, and you can use all this. As I said, the storage come hai, obsolescence come hai, and the good variety of these fertilizers also help quite a lot. Actually, they don't get affected by rain or something of that nature because these are all in small bottles. Carries easy hai, storage easy hai, and all that part. Nano urea, nano DAP, and nano products of that nature, which are future, which are coming, has a huge potential for creating business opportunity for rural India, both in terms of technology and other support system to farmers. And farmers will be willing to try and take that advice, take the support, and try and get this done as a substitute for what they traditionally do in that format. तो एक तो ये था, दूसरा सीड का था। दूसरा जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है वो सीड के लिए है। सीड्स अभी ट्रेडिशनली लार्ज कंपनीज बनाती हैं, बनाती तो नहीं है लेकिन ब्रांड करके कर देती हैं, एंड दे सेंड इट अक्रॉस। सीड इज अ बिग इशू इन इंडिया, and the germination ratio is about 40 to 50% and has a huge difficulty for farmers. There has not been a big solution coming and emerging. But I think what seed and seedling can be a great story for an entrepreneur to try and build it. If you can build a seedling nursery at that level, it will help in two aspects. One is that you are actually creating a confidence in the farmer that whatever he buys is actually going to grow. It is not being that he has purchased 1 kg of seed, out of only half a kg has only come and germinated. So germination risk is covered. तो फार्मर को बहुत अच्छा लगेगा। तो आप सीड नर्सरी बना सकते हैं, which itself can become a business for you. Seed nursery, there are two things. One is seed nursery will build confidence in the farmer. The second is the seed nursery will help you in getting crops which are otherwise not grown in that area. तो आप दूसरे, जैसे आप नागालैंड के या नॉर्थ ईस्ट के कोई क्रॉप को ला करके अपने यहाँ सीड नर्सरी बना सकते हैं। For example, there is also something called a potato seed. A potato seed is different from the normal potato, true potato seed. It's called TPS. A true potato seed is actually a small half a kg seed which can be grown into a few hectares of the area and gives you potato. So even that part of the story, you can actually try and do true potato seeds in that area to try and help people to grow potato, which is the new technology. Those seed and seedling and the support for variety of seed from across the country in order to try and look at that area itself is a huge business opportunity for creating an entrepreneurship. Seedling, as I said, nursery is very important, and nursery should be grown in that small area. You can go small area nurseries, or you can even take land on lease basis to grow nurseries and try and help people in growing the seed and seedlings and try and support. The areas which are having less rain or less water, you can try and identify the crops which are grown in various parts of the country and take out those crops and do that part of them. You can have high yielding varieties available across the country and try and bring in and grow seed nurseries and try and do that part of the work. But I think seed and seedling nursery and a variety of seeds and products are very important for you to try and create value for farmers and also build an enterprise which is hand holding for them. Weather information is, of course, one part of the story which is informative. I don't think you can create a business on weather information, but it's only a product which can be added to some system and get support system for farmer. Soil testing can help, but soil testing standalone soil testing will take little longer period because people in the farm still doesn't realize that soil testing is an essential ingredient. They still look at they've been doing for centuries together without a soil test. Why should they pay for getting a soil test? Unless the value of soil testing is established to the farmer, unless he sees that after getting a soil testing done, his cost on use of fertilizer has gone down substantially and the productivity has remained the same or got enhanced. If you can prove that, then soil testing becomes a self a venture in order to try and do that part of building an enterprise for them. Soil testing is good. Soil testing will take little longer period, and soil testing today has loose technologies available. There are various formats of soil testing. The normal titration method which are used is an obsolete method. Today there are technologies available for doing soil testing. It is like human people getting testing for themselves done, and the soil similarly has to create a value. But I think the point is the soil testing will become relevant only when you're able to explain that the farmer saves money when he does the same cultivation in the same area and his productivity is not affected. Once you establish the credibility, soil testing can become, because then he is willing to pay. Then he is willing to pay on a regular basis for various crops, soil testing, and the advisory which are associated with the soil testing given to him for producing. But I think soil testing, along with fertilizer sale, has a huge value proposition. Both of them combined together can be very useful for you to create a business opportunity for them. Next is the farm equipment, and farm equipment itself has value proposition. As I said, a lot of labor is not available, and it is high time that the farmers are now small and medium farmers. They're not large farmers, so they can't afford to buy an equipment. It is actually not economical for a small holding farmer to buy equipment for either the tractors or trolleys or some of the equipment for cutting and sowing. That is not required for him because he can't afford to them. So therefore, an aggregated format of farm equipment leasing format. So you can have farm equipment one store and then lease out to the farm community in that area and try and create a business. Farm equipment leasing itself is a business opportunity and try and sustain. Some of the people have done it. I have seen some people trying to do it. IFCO started farm equipment leasing in some areas and wanted to create some business, but it's a long way. People has to get used to it. You need to create various model. बट आई डू बिलीव, हमें लगता है कि हमारे गांव में जो बच्चे हैं उनमें इनोवेशंस हैं, उसने उनमें बिजनेस को क्रिएट करने के इनोवेशंस है. दे में एक्चुअली डू बार्टर इन द सेंस के फार्म इक्विपमेंट किया और पैसे नहीं लिए. सपोज हार्वेस्टिंग करना है तो हार्वेस्टिंग में कुछ क्रॉप का कुछ परसेंटेज आप रख लेते हैं, बाकी उसको दे देते हैं. So you create an innovative business model as suitable to that community, as acceptable to that community. Of farm equipment can be a huge value proposition for you. Try and do it. Water testing and Fasal Bima Yojana are additional support systems. Standalone, they won't create a market for you. The second is on financial support to farmers. As I say, cultivation adds a lot of value, which I explained to you. The second part is on financial support. Some farmers को financial support चाहिए. They need financial support. They need funds, and these funds for both farm and non-farm activity are required. भारत सरकार ने किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड दिया है, but I don't think that किसान credit card itself is sufficient for meeting the requirements of farmers. So add-on loan and other facilities can create a huge value proposition for building a business enterprise. वैसे जैसे देखा गया है कि फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज से रूरल एरियाज में सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस मॉडल बन जाता है. So not only when you're creating a financial service model, a financial delivery service model, in all aspects, loan है, inputs के लिए subsidy है, or you're creating capital for them or creating lead for them in order to get loan sanctions, और सरकारी जो स्कीम है उनको सपोर्ट, जैसे प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि है, which is what gets to them and they come to you and draw the money out of you, and each transaction you make some money. So the complete package of financial services, banking, insurance, and pension, all three combined together, can help you to create a sustainable business model in rural India. That is a possible. That is not unquestionable. This is proven. And many of the fintech companies which are now emerging and becoming unicorns are based on the same premise. So what a fintech company can do, a local level entrepreneur can also support these fintech companies in order to build business models wherein all the support system can be provided. Financial, as I said, insurance, banking, and pension scheme for both farmer equipments and non-farm activities like cows, buffaloes, milk, goatry, piggery. All this can help you quite a lot in trying and creating value proposition for creating a business opportunity. The next is on produce sale. As I said, presently the produce sales are done. These are done through intermediaries. As I said, आड़ती खरीदता है, and ENAM of course मंडी है, but that itself is constrained. It's not actually a very optimal choice for a farmer. तो अगर हमें बहुत अच्छा तरीका निकालना है तो प्रोड्यूस सेल को बढ़ाने के लिए, प्रोड्यूस सेल को जो भी फार्मर उगाता है, चाहे वो व्हीट हो, चाहे वो वेजिटेबल्स हों, चाहे हॉर्टिकल्चर क्रॉप्स हों, अगर हम लोकल लेवल पे उनको ठीक से सेग्रीगेट कर पाएँ और सेग्रीगेट करके किसी बड़े से रिलेशनशिप बना के सेल कर दें, टाइमली सेल कर दें, then we can create a business model. So this is a very good model for creating. This help the farmer, this help the intermediary who is actually going to make use of this produce. उसको easily मिल जाता है, उसके पास एक relationship है where he can produce. And some of these which I explained, some of these companies who are doing it, and today I will, in my few slides, next slides, I will try and explain them what model they have. तो क्या कर सकते हैं जो हमारे बच्चे जो एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना चाहते हैं और प्रोड्यूस सेल में फार्मर की जरूर मदद करना चाहते हैं, वो प्रेजेंटली इन कंपनियों के साथ एसोसिएट्स करते हैं. दे बिकम द सर्विस प्रोवाइडर फॉर दिस कंपनी and then procure all the farm produce and sell them. And these companies will be able to try and subsidy and support them in building a sustainable business model. तो प्रोड्यूस सेल बहुत अच्छा है and प्रोड्यूस सेल कैन help both the farmer as well as building an enterprise in that sense. तीसरा था एक्सपर्ट इंटरेक्शन. जैसे हमने कहा था कि एक्सपर्ट की I just go back 1 minute. एक्सपर्ट इंटरेक्शन में टेली कंसल्टेशन है, जैसे टेली मेडिसिन होता है, या उसी तरह टेली एग्रीकल्चर भी है और टेली वेटरनरी है. टेली एग्रीकल्चर एंड टेली वेटरनरी आर फ्यूचर फॉर रूरल इंडिया, क्योंकि बहुत सारे वेटरनरी वाले नहीं जाएंगे, अवेलेबल नहीं होंगे. इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट ए 24 आवर्स support system on extension services to the farmer, there has to be a business model. There has to be somebody locally available where you can talk to an expert and take an advice, and based on advice of his crop or something, or his non-crop, non-farm crop, he can do that part. Hiring stations, I did mention to you that hiring station itself is a huge value proposition for you to try and create business opportunities in rural India. Okay, I have mentioned most of the opportunities which you have and explained to you that crop cultivation, financial support, produce sale, expert interaction and hiring stations are the business opportunities जिसमें आप एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप कर सकते हैं, और सभी में आजकल टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करता है. सी टुडे दी one person who can be called the agriculture technology father of India is Dr. Moni. He is the only one who has an NIC was talking about using technology for agriculture. He is actually an expert, has done a lot of research work and has spent his life in building technology for agriculture. And unfortunately, not many people like agriculture. So technology is used for other purposes other than agriculture. But there is one person has so much of passion in trying and doing that part of the work and using technology for this. So technology intervention in every aspect, whether it's crop cultivation, financial support, produce sale, expert interaction, hiring stations, is what is the key for building sustainable business models. Without technology, the present system which does not use technology for any of the service providers, any of the service you have provided, is not sustainable in long term, or is not acceptable and easily convenient for farmers to try and do that part of the work. Okay. Then, as I said, the opportunity, I did briefly explain to you what are the opportunities. I just mentioned to you that some of them, fertilizer, seed, pesticides, nano urea, nano DAP are great. And we do believe, हमारा विश्वास है कि हर गांव में 6 लाख गांव में 6 लाख बच्चे इनके थ्रू एक छोटा रूरल एंटरप्राइज, एग्री एंटरप्राइज क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. देयर नो डाउट. सीड होगा, पेस्टिसाइड होगा, इनपुट होंगे, नैनो यूरिया. The only request is सरकार को ये लाइसेंसिंग खत्म करनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर ग्रेजुएट गांव में जाना नहीं चाहता, इतने अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो व्हाई क्रिएट दो रेस्ट्रिक्शन? द रेस्ट्रिक्शंस आर बिकॉज सरकार ने ये लाइसेंसिंग रखी है, इसलिए ये एक्सपेंशन ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप नहीं हो पा रहा है. बट आई थिंक ओवर ए पीरियड टाइम, इफ एवरीबडी ट्राई एंड पुट दिस अक्रॉस टू गवर्नमेंट at least in some state can get rid of this licensing requirement. उनकी जो जरूरतें हैं, जो कंसर्न्स हैं, दे कैन ऑल बी एड्रेस थ्रू अ टेक्नोलॉजी मीडियम. वी कैन ऑल सबमिट एवरीडे स्टेटमेंट टू देम जो उनको चाहिए, लेकिन लाइसेंसिंग खत्म करना पड़ेगा इफ यू वांट टू ट्राई एन लार्ज स्केल ग्रोथ एंड प्रमोशन फॉर दिस फार्म. सेम थिंग फॉर the KVK and Agri University. Extension has been done by KVK, Agriculture, NABARD. यही लोग करते हैं, इसलिए इसमें एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप नहीं बना. because सरकार करती थी और free करती थी, and that way there is no agri entrepreneurship. I think government should close Kishan Vikas Kendra, Krishi Vikas Kendra. They should actually close all of them. There no need. Agriculture university should do research. They didn't have to do. Once they close KVK, the private sector at the rural India level will try and innovate in doing an extension work for agriculture, which is far more sustainable, far more locally meeting requirement, because this 800 KVKs cannot meet the requirement of 6 lakh villages. It's impossible. And you cannot have KVKs. So why do create this KVK? Why not give and outsource these KVKs on PPP model to other organizations who can use this infrastructure on hub and spoke model and create rural entrepreneurship and create entrepreneurship also on extension services, which is also very good. Extension can be also changing the pattern of agriculture, also in terms of using technology. Extension can be in terms of using organic farming, which are your concerns, and creating value proposition for farmers, which hitherto is not possible in the existing framework in which government is supporting agriculture. Government has to actually wash off his hands from agriculture. In our view, जितना सरकार एग्रीकल्चर से अपने हाथ निकालेगी, दे शुड प्रमोट मोर ऑफ दीज. जैसे एमएसएमई को प्रमोट करते हैं, एग्रीकल्चर में फार्मर्स को प्रमोट करते हैं, लेकिन एग्रीकल्चर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को प्रमोट नहीं करते. आप उनको तो पैसे देते हैं, पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि गिव मनी टू फार्मर, बट व्हाट अबाउट द फेलो हु एक्चुअली बिल्ड एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योर. अगर 6 लाख गांव में इन बच्चे और बच्चियों को हम एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योर बना करके और सरकार उनकी मदद कर सके, either give a Kisan credit card type, उनको भी दे दे कुछ, they can give a small credit card to them, where they can build the inventory, take products and sell them. They will do a great service to the farm community, and farmers will also accept and buy that part. Government has to change its mindset, and at least they can do research, agriculture university research, but I think most of the other work should be left to building rural enterprise. Promoting rural agri enterprises can be a great value proposition. उसमें सबका भला है. Everybody get benefited in the process, and it actually helps quite a lot in building this. ये थोड़ा सा अगर सरकार बदल ले, और सरकार बदलेंगी, नहीं बदलेंगी तो अगर वो जो हमारा सपना है कि उनकी इनकम को दुगना करना, अभी एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम से दुगना करने में कॉन्स्टेंट्स हैं, चैलेंजेस हैं, लेकिन अगर हमें करना है तो हमें लार्ज के 6 लाख रूरल एंटरप्राइज क्रिएट करने होंगे एग्रीकल्चर में, उनको सपोर्ट करना होगा, उनको प्रमोट करना होगा, तब ये सपना दुगनी इनकम करने का फार्मर का सर हो सकता है. हम आत्मनिर्भर भारत, ग्राम स्वराज, ये सारी चीजें को पूरा कर सकते हैं, और वो बच्चे और बच्चियां टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से. और ये जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था, जिस देश में स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज होंगी, उस देश में ही इक्विटेबल स्प्रेड ऑफ वेल्थ होता है, इक्विटी स्प्रेड होती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन होता है, एंड देयर इज अ ह्यूज फिनोमिनल पोटेंशियल फॉर रूरल इंडिया टू ट्राई एंड डू इट. एग्रीकल्चर, वो सारी जिंदगी उन्होंने एग्रीकल्चर की, और बच्चे गांव में माइग्रेशन कम होगा, लोग गांव में रहेंगे, वो अपने यूनिट में 2-3 बच्चों को और नौकरी देगा. तो दिस 6 lakhs people actually can create about 2 million jobs, 2 million जॉब, 20 लाख नौकरियां गांव में क्रिएट की जा सकती हैं, गांव के अंदर, if we try and support the agri entrepreneurship in that fashion, as I shared with you in that way. बाद में जैसे मैंने कहा, एडवाइजरी में हम लोग टेली एग्रीकल्चर और टेली एलिमेंट हस्बेंड्री का यूज कर सकते हैं, और कुछ नए जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, जो नए टूल्स हैं, जैसे हाइड्रोपोनिक्स है और टेक्नोलॉजी यूजेज एनहांस प्रोडक्टिविटी है, ये सारे तभी होंगे जब हम ग्रास रूट पे इनका एंटरप्रेन्योर बनाएंगे. ये लोग लैब में नहीं होंगे, एक स्टार्टअप इतना काम नहीं कर पाएगी. सी, स्टार्टअप कैन डू ओनली बिल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी, बट मास implementation can be done only the grassroots. So if you can do hydroponics, because which is also essential, so much of land agriculture is being diverted every year, that there is a shortage of land, so therefore you need to do something of that nature. Hydroponics, so use technology where minimum land and higher productivity, and that culture can be inculcated in that fashion. So as I mentioned, there are phenomenal potentials for building enterprises. We need Dr. Professor Moni's and Shobhit University some recommendation to the government to at least get limited role in agriculture, and try and support building rural enterprises for doing the same work. Don't do this VLW and animal husbandry veterinary person. they are all old. They are old generation. You cannot try and support the ecosystem of 650,000 villages through these government functions. It's not possible. It is better to try and support the same thing. If you want to incentivize the farmers some way, but support the enterprise in building and extending the same facilities across. I think it's a great opportunity. Agriculture entrepreneurship can be a phenomenal value proposition for rural India. एंड हमें तो देखा है गांव में 6 लाख बच्चों ने 5.5 लाख CSC बने, उनको बच्चों को टेक्नोलॉजी भी आती है एंड दे डू फिनोमिनल वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन फॉर रूरल इंडिया इन बिल्डिंग इट. अगर सर्विस के छोटी सर्विस के बेसिस पे सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस मॉडल CSC बना सकता है, एग्रीकल्चर इज फार मोर कम्प्रीहेंसिव. उसके बेसिस पे सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस बनाना कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है. हमारे अपना माइंडसेट बदलना होगा, गवर्नमेंट को सपोर्ट करना होगा for some time. In fact, what the government can do, they can create a structure similar to what a CSC SPV is, and then try and build enterprises and promote and try and leave their hands out of it, and they will do build a great value proposition. 6 lakhs entrepreneurship can be built over a period of 3 to 4 years. 6 lakh and sustainable business model where all the service provider can use this network in it to either provide inputs or access produce for building their frameworks in whatever they want to do it. So thank you, Professor Moni. And आप तो बहुत जानते हैं एग्रीकल्चर के बारे में, but I think today the mindset has to change in our system if we really want to expand. Traditional way of doing things and building entrepreneurship will not happen. All agriculture entrepreneurship programs, either done by government, has not been able to sustain because the lack of initiative. And restricting only to agriculture graduates. See, that is not a good thing. Entrepreneurship doesn't need qualification. There are, at least ICT में, there are people who are dropouts of school and done phenomenal. वो Google में काम करता है, वो Microsoft में काम करता है, and he is a school dropout. So don't link agriculture qualification to doing agriculture extension. Entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. As long as you have some capital, you have ability to take risk and serve the community, you should be trying to support and promote those guys. He can hire somebody as an expert in case the need be, but don't link that it will be only for them and not for anybody else. तो वंस अगर सरकार ने कुछ ऐसे कदम उठाए तो बहुत जल्दी जो सपना है कि सबका सपना है भारत में, एवरीबडी वांट्स कि एग्रीकल्चर को बढ़ावा मिले, एग्रीकल्चर अच्छा बने और एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी एनहांस हो, ये तो बनेगा और बनना करना पड़ेगा. लेकिन इसको हमें थोड़ा सा, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, डिस्ट्रक्टिव इनोवेशन, तो पुराने सिस्टम को खत्म करके नए सिस्टम की शुरुआत करनी होगी, तब ये संभव होगा. पुराने सिस्टम को फिडल करके और उसमें थोड़ी जान डाल के ये हो सके, शायद संभव नहीं है. हमें थोड़ा अलग से सोचना होगा. और अभी सरकार थोड़ा डिफरेंट सोचती है. ये नियम कानून पुराने हैं, ब्रिटिश राज के हैं, मोनोपोलिस्टिक नेचर के हैं, उनका कोई रिलेशन नहीं है प्रमोशन ऑफ ग्रोथ एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इन रूरल इंडिया. गांव के बच्चों में बहुत है, अभी भी बहुत जुगाड़ करते हैं. जुगाड़ इज इनोवेशन, जुगाड़ इज नथिंग बट इनोवेशन. वो इनोवेशन स्किल्स इतनी है दैट यू कांट इमेजिन. एक हम लोग, मैं एग्जांपल आपको शेयर करता हूँ. हम लोग एक मोटोवोल्ट की साइकिल, इलेक्ट्रिक साइकिल गांव में प्रोवाइड करते थे. एक किसान उस मोटोवोल्ट की इलेक्ट्रिक साइकिल से अपने खेत में, अपने फील्ड में कल्टीवेशन कर रहा है. So he doesn't need a bull. Actually, the cycle moves it, and cycle moves the equipment, and then he keep on cultivating the crop in the farm. But that innovation, when somebody designed that e-cycle, he never thought can be used in the farm. But this innovation happens because of local needs of those areas and villages. So there are phenomenal potential for rural. By nature, by inherently, Indians are innovative. Indians are enterprising. We need to try and get this blockade for promotion of enterprise, which is in licensing Raj, which is in restrictive trade practices, and the government intervention and not allowing the growth and potential of these guys to prosper and fulfill the commitments. एक ये हो जाएगा तो फिर देश में बदलाव आएगा. Phenomenal success stories of what actually can be achieved through the rural enterprises. मुझे तो विश्वास है, हमारे तो बच्चे और बच्चियां बहुत हैं, उन्होंने इतना काम करके देखा, शायद कल्पना नहीं की जा सकती. आई डोंट बिलीव दैट किसी ने शायद कल्पना नहीं, क्योंकि गांव में कंप्यूटर चला करके कोई अपना बिजनेस मॉडल निकाल ले, ये बहुत मुश्किल काम था, संभव नहीं था. छोटी पॉपुलेशन है, सबको लगता था, अभी भी लोगों को लगता है. जब सबके पास मोबाइल होगा, सबके हाथ में मोबाइल होगा, फिर वो कैसे बिजनेस चलाएगा? लेकिन उसको आता है। आप सबके पास मोबाइल दे दो, सबको मोबाइल में सर्विस दे दो, फिर भी वो अपना बिजनेस निकाल लेता है, बिकॉज ही इज वेरी इनोवेटिव, ही इज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, सो ही नोज द स्किल्स ऑफ हाउ वी कैन हेल्प द कम्युनिटी एंड बिल्ड एन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। तो एग्रीकल्चर बहुत अच्छा है, और आई थिंक the Shobhit University should take a lead in reforming the traditional way of extending building entrepreneurship. अगर आप करेंगे सर, तो उसकी छोटी सी रिपोर्ट saying ये चीजें बोटल नेक्स हैं, एंड वी नीड टू एक्चुअली फोकस ऑन 6 lakhs। हर गांव में एक एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योर होगा, तभी कहानी और देश बदलेगा। ये 1000 और 2000 करने से सर कोई फायदा नहीं है, एंड then everybody will come and fall in line and they can structure in any format which is conducive। सरकार का ऊपर हाथ चाहिए, सरकार के पैसे नहीं चाहिए, सरकार का प्रमोशन चाहिए, सरकार का सपोर्ट चाहिए, बट सरकार का इंटरवेंशन और इंटरफेरेंस नहीं चाहिए, एंड दैट इज हाउ द ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल विल टेक प्लेस अक्रॉस द कंट्री। हमें विश्वास है, एंड आई डू बिलीव हम लोग ऐसे नहीं बातें कर रहे हैं, करके देखा है, और बच्चे और बच्चियों की मेहनत और उनका जुनून देखा है। तो अगर हम थोड़ा सा पैशन और थोड़ी सी मेहनत करके क्रिएट कर दें, तो मुझे विश्वास है कि देश में क्या, सारे संसार में एक मॉडल क्रिएट होगा कि हम हर गांव में एग्रीकल्चर के बेसिस पे एक, और टेक्नोलॉजी, एग्रीकल्चर और टेक्नोलॉजी दोनों को यूज करके एक एंटर सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस मॉडल क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच सर, and thank you for the patience of all the people who have joined and listened to this, and thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. You can come out of the okay, thank you very much, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi ji. It is a wonderful presentation, and this is the first talk in the new year 2023, and you have set the tone. And I have been voicing when I was given the opportunity in 1987, and as the project director for District Information System Program of NIC District for at that time 512 plus districts. And at that time, my boss gave me only 6-letter word district, and he told me that you give soul, fat and everything, you make it as a appropriate project. And I thought that it is a godsend opportunity by Government of India, by National Informatics Center, for a person who was born and brought up in rural area, who's seen the poverty in his life and walked for miles together for school education, stayed in school for study in the night. And I thought that is a godsend opportunity and bring in technology. That's why I worked for 28 sectoral database development programs for district development, and that time technology was not available. We had only one D-based product, and everybody expected that Moni will give program for district collector's office computerization. And I put it as a district, it is a district information system program, give a big base, and for 28 sectoral database programs. On that time, I took Kerala as a model. Many people said it, that why did you take it? And it is a communist country. They don't accept computerization. I told him that is, it's an important state because they are the state they showed the success on literacy programs and family planning. And this scheme is going throughout the country. So let me study, had a workshops in district level, every district. I did a Pathayatra, and then also conducted half-a-day workshop in every district. The government state planning board, headed by Mr. Varadachari, that time planning secretary planning, arranged all facilities. And some of the district I received with the black flag. Go back, Moni. We don't need computerization. Today, Mr. Modi, when he goes to Kerala, he gets one go back Modi. And those days, 87, I received go back Moni. And the difference is only MONI and MODI is N and D. And when I had, after that, when I had a discussion at the state level, even the industries minister, Madam Gauriamma, sent a note. We understand that an officer from central government is discussing with the government officials for introducing computerization, he should be asked to go back. And, because it's a new government and we have to take a call, and he should stop. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the government at that time decided to use our computer center for their national games, results processing. So in association with the ERDC and NIC decided to do that. But the sports minister, Mr. Neela Logitha Dasanada, and the secretary, organizing secretary, Mr. Gigi Damson, later he became chief secretary to government of Kerala. They came to me. I told him that I was told that I should go back. I was told that the file has gone to their decision-making center, AKG center. So it may be in coma for years together. So Mr. Neela Logitha Dasanada, the sports minister, raised it in the next day steering committee meeting chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. E.K. Nayanar, and was also attended by then Chief Ministers, Mr. A.K. Antony and Mr. K. Karnakar. And they took a decision, let us use this network and let us take a call after the games are over. But thanks to the, the decision-making capability of Mr. E.K. Nayanar, the Communist Minister, Chief Minister, he said that is a national scheme. It goes to every state. We should use it. We should get benefit out of it. And if we would like to spend money from state budget, we'll take a different call. That's how he asked the next district collectors conference. He asked the district collectors and secretaries to use this scheme. Now you see that government Kerala is the best IT hub, and nobody remembers what Mr. E.K. Nayanar, maybe the bureaucrats may be knowing that, they may not even know the role Mr. Moni played, and Mr. Neela Logitha Dasanada and Mr. Gigi Johnson. And this is what it's very important. We have to think differently. We have to take and I'm very happy that, and then I presented to the district collectors conference, which Mr. Rajiv Gandhi organized in 87-88, Jaipur, Bhopal, Hyderabad, Imphal and Coimbatore, and 28 sectoral database. The district collector said that it's very important. And then they added village level information system, 29. And that's how, and many people used to, and then Chief Cabinet Secretary Mr. T. N. Seshan gave the foreword. But unfortunately, if this, what we have identified, what I wrote, and so project report, many people used to say that looked like a World Bank report. And if those parameters would have been operationalized today with the AI technology, with the big data analytics, and with the blockchain technology today at the grassroots level, we would have got a better data set for decision making through this technology. And when we operationalized with the technology available in that time, and then every state has got their own IT secretary, IT department, district level IT societies, and so on and so forth, and they have gone for what government has to computerize for their own functioning. Not for database development, not for. And then 85, I was given whole agriculture sector as for IT. Once again, nothing was given to me, and that time I I looked into the Rio 8 Summit recommendation, 92. There, Agenda 21, Chapter 14 talked about information system for sustainable agriculture rural development. I went to my boss, Dr. Sheshagiri, Director General. Sir, now you're given an agriculture sector. I would like to take with a global model for India. It's a Rio 8 Summit. India is a signatory. China is doing it. And I wanted to have a national conference. I wanted to find out. Now we have got network in every district. We should be able to communicate to the people to come down. Where do you want to have it? Vigyan Bhavan. And fine, you have it, but there is no budget for you. There is another bottleneck. Then and that time you can, now I am 70, you can minus it, 95. And I thought that, okay, fine, let me try my work. I wrote it to all the CMDs of the public sector banks. And luckily, I got 6.5 lakhs rupees. And that time, 95. And State Bank of India and Oriental Bank of Commerce, Indian Bank, and NABARD, IFCO, they gave it. And 450 people participated. That program was inaugurated by Dr. Balram Jakar, then Union Agriculture Minister. And it was taken aback, that, this Vigyan Bhavan, 15 informatics network programs were discussed in collaboration with then Planning Commission, Ministry of Fertilizer, Rural Development, and Agriculture. And next, Minister Dr. Balram Jakar was not able to come for the inaugural session. There was some, brief, somebody died in his family. So he sent a message. He will come for valedictory address. It's a very important conference. He came. And I asked, sir, why don't you allocate 3 to 6% of the agriculture budget for IT in agriculture? 95. Historical evidences are necessary. Otherwise, Indian bureaucracy will forget. He said that, Mr. Moni, I'm for it. And, that's how the Department of Agriculture Corporation took early lead in the entire Ministry of, Government of India to go for first project which they operationalizes networking of all their, subsidiaries and their subordinate offices. That's called DACnet. Department of Agriculture and Cooperative Network. And then Department of Administrative Reforms put up a committee under Mr. Vittal on this after I raised it, 3 to 6%. Then he suggested 2 to 3%. This is how all central government department has gotten IT allocation of the budget 2 to 3%. You can see that who was instrumental even for e-governance in central government.
No, you will be remembered, sir. You are remembered still.
But Minister of IT and Electronics department doesn't know about it.
Oh, that's okay, sir.
Otherwise, when I retired, they should have taken back, like many bureaucrats are being taken for an assignment. They didn't bother about it. I also didn't bother about it.
Now you are in different positions, sir. I think
I'm
telling
that
a lot of changes.
You brought out a lot of things in the country. That doers, visionaries are not needed. And that's what it is. Periodically, it is being shown. I'm one of the living soul, 87 to now. And then, and then it is, and then during 95, to many schemes came out. I put to 2000 AgriSnet with the 10,000 terminal. 50's informatics network, Akmar net, and so on and so forth. When I traveled to many districts, I came to know that I learned rural distress. Today, you talked about very effectively. And, I thought that all the schemes which I brought it out, instrumental, I should convert as an discipline, academic discipline to train rural youths.
For being
That's one, agricultural informatics. I brought it out. It is the first. Yeah, it is the first.
Entrepreneurship should be now your objective. You are done enough.
That's what I'll come to that. That's what I'm building a story. Value chain. And then
you should not build a friendship.
It is, when I put it, and then final one was that the networking of 7,032 locations for monitoring national animal disease in the country. It was also, launched to the, whole country. And when after my retirement, that program was not even given that importance. I wrote an angry letter to Mr. Radha Mohan Singh, the agriculture minister at that time. And this program should not be killed. And I didn't get any reply from Mr. Radha Mohan Singh as a professor from the university, and then former director in NIC. And then I didn't leave it. And then, and it is, you said it very clearly that Shobhit University is the first university, private university in the country to have agricultural informatics as a discipline. They invited me when I was the, deputy director in NIC as a visiting professor. And then we worked on it. And When I retired on May 31st, 2013, 1st June, I got a letter invitation from the Chancellor of the University. Please join as a principal Professor Emeritus and establish the Centers of Excellence. Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies is the first center in the whole world. Not even in IITs, not even in NITs, not even, triple ITs, not even in 4,500 engineering colleges. If India is an agrarian economy, what is wrong with them to have research only, first priority in agriculture economy, agriculture sector? Then you do for other corporate sector.
Sure.
And that's what I have been propagating it. And
so
then
now you can do with the Shobhit University and Ardu, you can do the entrepreneurship model.
Yeah, that's it. And then luckily, Mr. Patnaik, the then Secretary Agriculture, invited me in 2016. At that time, I was IT advisor in DDA, that please join as a chief advisor in the Department of Agriculture and E-Governance, Agriculture and Cooperation, Farmer Welfare, and get associated with the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report. That's how I was put it. Then I thought that, from 87 onwards, and it should have the reflection in the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report. Thanks to Dr. Ashok Dalwai and the portion 4 chapters, he put it as a separate volume, volume 12B. And I thought that after this, the report was submitted in 2018, September, and 7 mission mode programs. Ministry of Agriculture should have issued a notification immediately. Operationalize it. Let the so many flowers, let it, blossom. And common services centers are there, and they should have picked up these 7 mission mode programs. Today, you talked about 4 slides, 5 slides. And these 7 mission mode programs, digital technology in agriculture, talked about it. And it would have, by 4 years now, you would have got so many operational projects at the grassroots level, bypassing all the hurdles of bureaucracy at the grassroots level. It would have gone to the farmers. It has gone to the farm level. And that's why I thought that during the COVID situation, okay, fine, let us have a national webinar. Let us network. As a former Director General and also a man worked from grassroots level for more than 35 years, and also with the Shobhit University platform. And then Ardo also we are working very closely. They have joined.
What we can do is we can help in the Shobhit University and Ardo together to showcase some of these entrepreneurship which are sustainable, and then replicate this for across.
That is very important. That is very important.
That is possible.
That is very important. So I'm trying to bring out that as some sort of an action point, and I was quite impressed by what you talked about it. Quite impressed by. And then, now it is 105 webinars we conducted in National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income. And then I was also I was invited by the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration to address the ICS Officers Training 2022 at Kevadia in Gujarat on October 28th, and Secretary Agriculture also as one of the speakers. And then one World Bank expert. I said the same thing. The time has come that the recommendation, the 7 mission mode programs as recommended, as available in the Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee, has to be operationalized. But unfortunately, Minister of Agriculture come out with the Digital Agriculture Commission. And I don't know. And till 4 years are over, I was not even invited by the Minister of Agriculture to discuss on the digital technology in agriculture. Not even a single meeting. Neither the Department of Ministry of IT and Electronics or the Department of Ministry of Agriculture. Leave it, the country will take care of. But this webinars has given a focus. Sure. And then we have now launched MTech in Agricultural Informatics, MBA in Agribusiness Management. This is for all the people to join, not only for BS Agriculture graduates, and also 1-month program on skill and entrepreneurship development in agriculture. And this 1-month program, I think in association with you and CSE, and we should build up 6 lakhs village level entrepreneur.
That's right. That should be the objective, sir.
And in this also we said it, that you said it very nicely, that KVK is its time is up. Atma centers is not even existing. And then and even in the latest article which I have published along with Mr. Krishan Khanna, the transforming India into a land of opportunities through relevant education and vocational training. And I have been propagating since then, from during the last 2 years, the country need at least one agri-tech startup in every Gram Panchayat.
No, मैं village में बोल, so I am telling in the village.
No, so agri-tech startup, one per Gram Panchayat, and then VLE. So we should train that 6 lakhs VLE, 6.25 lakh VLE, and then 2.25 lakh agri-tech startup. This one I even present to Honorable Minister Agriculture, Mr. Tomar, and also Defense Minister, Honorable Shri Rajnath Singh, on October 15, 2020 during the farmer strike. And this can bring in farming as a service, farming as an entrepreneurship, and we can build up agriculture entrepreneur. Today, you brought out very nicely that you have a farmer. Where is entrepreneurship? You have to build it up. And you have to build it up at the grassroots level. And even though agri startups are still in IIMs, IITs, NITs, and many colleges which don't even walk out of their campus. So I said it that your policy has to reflect that only to the startup which are functioning panchayat level, not in IIM and IIT level.
No, this is, I think what we will do
is so our takeaway point today is 6 lakhs agri VLE.
That's right.
6 million jobs and 2.25 lakh agri-tech startup.
Great, sir. I think
this
you should do
to
that.
Help 14.5 crores operational holdings. Whether it is large scale, medium scale, or small and marginal scale. We should do that with the digital technology. And this is very important. And out of 63 million MSMEs, 3 million MSMEs are in agriculture sector. And they have to be streamlined. They have to be globalized. And agriculture value chain, even Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee report talks about digitalized agriculture value chain for 400 agriculture commodities. But unfortunately, Ministry of Food Processing, they talk about one district, one product. They have not even taken into consideration Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee report on digital technology in agriculture. And I had one webinar series on one district to one product network, informatics network, very important. And this is where, and today's topic is very important. We need, and I salute to Dr. Dinesh Tyagi with your vast experience, and also built up a large scale common service center as a special purpose vehicle. You also said it, there has to be a special purpose vehicle for agri entrepreneurship.
That's right.
And based on your talk today, our interaction, let us prepare an approach paper. And this can go from the chancellor of the university to the concerned ministry.
Sure.
And it is very important. And to summarize it, and I'm very happy that he said that it is possible, we have to establish agri entrepreneurship in villages. And everything is being done by government, as was being done, and let them do only research. And then this is, you talked about traditional entrepreneurship through Aarti model, and then input supply for cooperative societies. I even talked about it. And cooperative societies and e-governance should become become an entrepreneur for the members of the society. They take loan and waive loan. And this is, and then small entrepreneurship model is very important. And you also said it that agri clinic and agri business is a model which was discussed when people were not in a position to even understand. Now it has to be revitalized. And you also said it very clearly, your hypothesis, small enterprises will bring in equitable growth pattern in rural India. It's a big hypothesis, and it has to be proved through this model which you talked about. It will bring in equitable growth pattern in rural India, for rural India to smile, shine, and roar. This is an article which I wrote it in 2004. And you also brought it out very nicely. Crop cultivation, financial support, produce sale, export interaction, and hiring stations. This is what is needed at the village level. And you also suggested that these 5 areas can bring in entrepreneurship, and it should run by entrepreneurs. And you also said it dispense with the licensing needs for seeds and fertilizer. And it is very important. And technology adoption, seed and seedlings itself can promote large scale entrepreneurship. I completely agree with you. And you also said it that some of the seeds are not available because there is no local enterprising level, and these things can come. And and soil testing is an important. And now, two days back, there was an WhatsApp group which I maintained, Padma Shri Dr. Subhas Palekar. He put it that today soil testing is done on physical parameters, physical characteristic and chemical characteristic. When are they going to do on biological characteristic? Biological characteristic. And this is another very important component. And you also said it that there has to be entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs to take care of banking needs, insurance needs, and pension needs. And it is very important. And technology intervention is a must. So I should thank you. And I should thank you that today takeaway point is that let us have a mission with vision, not vision with mission. Mission with vision, 6 lakhs VLE, 6 million jobs, and 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups. This I talk about every, today, from now onwards, I will also add 6 lakhs VLE and 6 million, jobs. 1 VLE, 10 jobs, 10 employment. And this is very important. And let us work together, join together, and let there be an MOU between CSE and Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, and let us propagate it. And at least one digitalized agriculture value chain per district. That has to be for as a people to go and see it. So, and with this, I would like to have your final remarks, and then we will close the webinar today. Over to Dr. Dinesh Tyagi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And as you said, vision, mission, and the passion, all three now leads to 6 lakhs entrepreneurs, agri entrepreneurs, and 2.5 to 2,50,000 agri startups, and then bring a value chain which actually helps the farmer, ultimately helps the farmer in enhancing his productivity, enhancing his income, and doubling his income, both from farm and non-farm product, at both ways. I think it's a phenomenal story. But some of these things which, as you mentioned, the traditional system need to be relooked at and need to be redefined, and we need to use the technology which is emerging. The new technology format which is emerging for dispensing the same service need to be tried and promoted and supported. Thank you so much for inviting, sir. It was a great always as usual.
Thank you very much. You can also ask some of the prominent people from the CSC also to participate in the program, and let us have an MOU signed, and let us also promote through CSV 1 month in the skill and entrepreneurship development program, agripreneurs development program, which we launched, and we will do it, and that will be a very important thing and for throughout the country. With this, I thank our honorable speaker, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi, and I thank Honorable Chancellor and His Excellency, the Secretary General Ordo, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members, and the dear participants from India and abroad for attending today's webinar and making it very successful. Lot of agenda points have come, and we'll work through and see to that some of the points which were raised it out, that which will see the light of the day and during this 2023. Thank you very much. And I also would like to request you on December last week, you please 2023, let us take the status of what we have achieved during 2023. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll close the webinar and leave the studio. Just 1 minute. Thank you. I'll take the photograph.